Hello everybody and welcome back to Surfact Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we got a pretty light week for you guys. I think we only have 2 first appearances, 4 honorable mentions, so only 6 titles all to go through, but there are some books in there to consider for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week ending January 24th, 2025. First up from Marvel Comics, TVA number 2. This features the possible first appearance of Doc Clock. Now, like we always mention with the possible first appearances, you definitely want to get confirmation that these are indeed the first full appearances of these characters before you pick these books up, because if not, these books probably aren't all that important. So this here is a possible first appearance of this new Doc Clock character. This character is being introduced into this TVA title series, so this is not one of Marvel's mainstay or tentpole title series, so we really don't know how important this Doc Clock character is going to be. But like we always mention with Marvel Comics, it's always a good idea to pick up the first appearance of new characters in these Marvel titles. Because, Marvel Disney is still churning out a ton of media for small screen and big screen. And it really doesn't look like there's any end in sight. So you don't want to miss out on the first appearance of these characters. Because if they do hit the screen, collectors will race back and try to find these first appearances. With all that being said though, make sure this is indeed the first full appearance of this character before you pick this up. All we know right now that this is the possible first appearance, but like I said, get confirmation before you get it. If it is, go ahead and grab this here for your collection. Next up from Boom Comics, Power Rangers Prime number 3. This features the possible first appearance of Rita Repulsa as a Power Ranger. Now, like we just mentioned a moment ago, make sure that this is indeed the first full appearance of Rita Repulsa as a Power Ranger before you pick this up. All we know right now is that this is the possible first appearance, but if this is indeed not the first full appearance, you probably want to skip on this one. But if it is, another one you do want to pick up for your collection. The Power Rangers franchise, hugely popular, huge fan base, huge collector base. Anytime they introduce a new Power Ranger or bring a new character in as a Power Ranger, you definitely want to pick up these books and add them to your collection. Like I said, Power Rangers has a huge following. So just like with the first book, definitely get confirmation that this is the first full appearance of Rita Repulsa as a Power Ranger before you grab this one. If it is, pick this up for your collection. And now for the honorable mentions. From DC Comics, Power Girl number 17. This features the debut of the new Power Girl suit. Now with Marvel Comics, it's always a good idea to pick up the first appearance of new suits, new artifacts, new powers. But with DC Comics, DC doesn't have the cinematic power that Marvel Disney has. So whenever they introduce new suits or new outfits or new artifacts or new superpowers for these existing characters, it really depends on how DC incorporates these new items they're introducing. If this is a new look for Power Girl going forward, then this is one you may want to pick up. Power Girl does have a fan base and a collector base, so there's definitely a following for the Power Girl character. The fact that they're introducing this new suit, like I said, if this is the new look of Power Girl going forward into the future, then this is one you may want to pick up. If not though, if they're just introducing this new suit for a few issues and it goes back to the old style, then this is one you may want to skip on. But like I said, if this is the new look of Power Girl going forward, you might want to grab this for $2 or $3, maybe worth a spec. So grab this here for a spec if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Keenspot, Mark Spears Monsters number 2, second print Wicked Variant Edition. Now this is limited to only 200 copies. Now we typically don't put second print or third print variants on our list just because as comic books go back to print, all the subsequent prints are going to have lower and lower print runs. Therefore all the variants are going to have very low print runs as well. But the fact that this here only has 200 copies printed and this is such a culturally significant or pop culturally significant cover, this one here probably worth considering for your collection. The Mark Spears Monster series in itself has been incredibly successful, very popular with fans and collectors. And the fact that they made this Wicked variant cover, this one is definitely going to be snatched up from the secondary market with only 200 copies available. And like I said, very strong pop culture significance on this. Wicked, Wizard of Oz, huge fan base, huge collector base. They did make other Wizard of Oz variant covers for the second print of this issue. But this one here, with the Wicked cover, this is one people have been talking about and people have been going after. So this is one, if you can actually find it, grab this here for your collection. Next up from Aftershock, Hell is a Squared Circle number 1. Now this is a one-shot described as wrestling noir. It's about a third-rate competitor trying to make ends meet in his personal life, but winding up with blood on his hands and the authorities on his heels. Now we typically don't put one-shots on our list because, with these small press and indie publishers being optioned for a small screen, big screen project, that is a huge price driver for these titles, and one-shots typically don't have enough story in there to actually be picked up an option. But this one here actually sounds like it can lend itself very well to a small screen, big screen project. It seems like in concept alone, this here has a good potential to be optioned. So this one here is definitely going to be speculative if you choose to pick it up, because Aftershock, while they have had a lot of attention on their titles in the past, we haven't really heard a lot about them lately, and they definitely haven't had a lot of their option titles actually hit the screen. So definitely going to be speculative on this, but like I said, it does sound like it has good potential to be an option. Grab this here for a spec if you can. If you can't, put in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. And finally from Scout Comics, Papa Duke #1. Papa Duke is the feared ruler of Bloodworld and the psychopathic leader of the Knight of the Cadillac Gangs. Assisted by his fiendish disciple Ives, Papa Duke positions the beautiful Mother Vega as the ultimate goddess queen of his domain. But first, Papa Duke and Ives must destroy everything Mother Vega cares about, including her lover Cassandra. Now we put this one here on the list because this is already in development with Sony Entertainment, so this is already being primed for the small screen and big screen. Now if this sounds familiar, it's because we did highlight this title months ago. For whatever reason it wasn't released then. It's coming out today, but that doesn't change the fact that Sony Entertainment is already developing this series, this Knight of the Cadillacs franchise. They're definitely trying to do something with this. There's been a lot of titles within this franchise, and the different titles within this franchise, you should definitely pick up the premiere issues or the issues featuring new characters. Because like I said, Sony Entertainment is taking a big bet on this franchise, so they're definitely going to do something with it. So this one here won't be as speculative because like I said, it is already in development, but it will be speculative in the fact that you really don't know how popular it's going to be with fans and collectors. So in that case, still speculative, but in our opinion, $3 or $4, definitely worth the risk. Scout Comics has a track record of appreciation in the secondary market, so probably one worth picking up regardless. So this one we do think you should pick up for a spec. Go ahead and grab this one. So there you have the 6 titles we have for you guys this week. Definitely some titles in there worth considering for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. As always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Aftershock Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.